Welcome to Causing the Effect, a podcast focused on the exploration of your mind, body, and spirit.
Jamie Alonge, what's up, baby? How we doing, Mr. LA?
Hey, we're doing good. We're doing real good out here.
Everybody, I've been waiting for Jamie to come on the last couple of weeks. I'm excited. I would say Tai Chi expert by this point, but empowerment coach. We're going to be talking, I would say, a lot of Eastern medicine and some practices here, maintaining health and just flow. And I'm just excited, man. So how did you end up getting into this Tai Chi space?
You know, I was 21. Now I'm going to be 49 in December.
I was going to say 6 years ago, Jamie. I was going to save you, but.
Thank you. Right, yeah. Except for those gray hairs. But I was 21-ish, early 20s, thought I was running the world. You know, I left my home in LA to set out on my own, left for Colorado to start a business with my two best friends, very young and hungry entrepreneurs. And also, though, at that time, actually, then we became successful. I'm just kind of remembering right now. We went through those first 2 years of business, and struggled. But then, like year 3, we were doing well. And I remember driving my car, like I bought a new car. It's gonna date me, but it was like a Honda Passport SUV. Like that was all the bomb back then. Honda came out with an SUV. I had leather interior, a sunroof, and I was like, I drove back home to LA to kind of like say, look, Ma, I made it, And that was cool, did the drive. And then on the drive back to Colorado, I had an experience with Native Americans. I kind of saw my first Native Americans in the desert, and I was visiting the Four Corners, which is where I think it's like Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, something like that,
where they
all come together. Yeah, and then I saw Native Americans off to the side there selling their wares, their beautiful handmade culture for extremely low prices. And it really hit me hard. And in that moment, I kind of realized that I had zero spirituality in my life. I wasn't really religious growing up, wasn't really raised that, and just felt like I had nothing to ground me at all to like the planet, to any kind of spirituality. Like, already at 23, we were kind of like making some money, and I was like, okay, so now what? And so I got back home, and I knew that I wanted to get into a martial arts that had a spiritual aspect to it. And Tai Chi was one of the ones on my list. And then lo and behold, a Tai Chi master walked into my place of business. And we were a travel agency just selling airline tickets, but he walked in and he saw 3 young guys and just like, what's going on here? I was like, this is our business. And he said, okay, you're a champion. And I was like, I'm a champion? He's like, yeah, you're a champion. And he's like, I'm a martial arts instructor. I teach Tai Chi. And I was like, well, I was thinking about doing Tai Chi, and he's just like, let's go, let's do this. And so 5 years straight, just started training. And, about 2 years later, I was a champion as I competed in Tai Chi tournaments. There's Tai Chi tournaments, just like there's like karate tournaments or Kung Fu tournaments. And so he made me a champion.
Dude, that is so cool. And just, could you give people I don't want to start saying what I think Tai Chi is, because I'm a dummy, but like for me, I always wanted to do a martial art, but I'm not a fighter at all. I'm just very chill. And Tai Chi always I know that there's a good focus of meditation and maintaining homeostasis and calming stress. And it's just always interested me. Could you give your overview of what when you first heard this from this guy walks into to your place of business, says this, did you have an idea, like what was Tai Chi to you then? And then what has that transformed into to become today?
Yeah, I love that word, homeostasis. For those of you that might not know what it is, I'm kind of like new to that word, as my wife is in the medical field, and it kind of means that your body being back in balance, or you being back in balance, with things, you get out of balance, so returning to balance. And it's a great word, but Yeah, I didn't really know either. I thought I knew it was a martial art. You never see people using it. And I knew that there was some sort of spiritual aspect to it, like the yin yang sign, and so I didn't know anything. And the thing is that you mostly associate Tai Chi with older people practicing it, and for the health benefits, because it is a martial art. It 100% is a martial art. It's just that it's a very high level martial art that takes many, many years to actually get to the point where you are in front of a person sparring, many, many years. So it's not typically practiced for the martial arts these days, when there's so many more other martial arts, MMA, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, that you can just get right to the point if you're looking for self-defense. Tai Chi, to learn the martial arts aspect, will take years, because you are rewiring your whole way of thinking when it comes to Tai Chi. It's considered an internal martial art, meaning you're sort of working on the inside out, as opposed to like kickboxing, where you're like, here's a punch, here's a kick, go, go, go. That's more of a external martial art, like attack, kill as fast as you can, handle it. In Tai Chi, you're working on, like, how can you release tension in your body? How can you stay calm? How is your breathing coordinated with the movements? And so you work on a lot of just practicing the form or the choreography at first. And that's what you might have seen people doing, waving their hands around slowly, practicing that choreography. But once you understand it and you got it to a certain level, then you can step to the next levels of what's called push hands, where you're toe to toe with a person and you're trying to almost get the person to fall off balance. And you can see how can you stay calm when somebody's trying to throw you around. And it's, again, not how we're wired, because as soon as somebody touches you, immediately you're in almost like a fight or flight mode, rather than, no, I'm calm, it's okay, you can have your hands on me, I'm totally calm right now. So again, that's why we work on that internal, and it takes many, many years to develop that.
Wow, that's okay. But we're gonna get to the spiritual and the meditation. But I gotta ask one real question: if somebody throws hands with Jamie, you're gonna fuck them up, right?
I wouldn't say that I'm at that level yet. I'm at the more of an intermediate stage.
Jamie, you've been doing this for 28 years. You're still, oh man, this is a long journey, dude.
Well, I have to be honest that many of those years I fell off, and
Gotcha.
I kind of went hard for 5 and then moved back home in my 30s and just let it be lingering in the background, no training with my teacher, and just kind of had it there, would just practice for more of the meditational benefits and whatnot, not training the sparring. I haven't been training the sparring for that amount of time. And it was only when I started to injure myself in my 30s, and my body started to shut down as I was going hard and running my body into the ground as a fine dining waiter here in the West Hollywood, Beverly Hills area, fancy waiter, fancy restaurants, but working really hard, that, you get past that. My feeling is that when you hit the age 36 as a man, things really start to change. That's the magic number, if you will, where things shift in your body. So all you guys out there under 30, even if you're 34, 35, you're good.
Jamie,
Not to say that it's
these boys, Jamie, I'm trying to tell them, I'm 32, never, knock on wood, pretty good with my health, pretty standard, a lot of yoga, a lot of this, but fell on my back 6 months ago, still hurts. It just takes a triple amount of time to heal up. So I'm with you. I got you.
Yeah. So I started experiencing injuries, just random stuff, and my whole body shut down. I broke a foot. I fractured another foot. I had nerve damage in my wrist. I had low back issues. I had extreme tightness behind my knees. And it was just like, I was just falling apart. And that's when I was just like, wait a minute, Tai Chi, you got to get back into this. I always thought it'd be something I'd get to when I was much older, but then here I was, late 30s, and I was like, let's dive back in. So first I had to get to where it didn't hurt to take a step. When you have foot issues or back issues, you crumble. Somebody could just blow on you and you'd be like, oh, I've seen grown, strong men, whimper like, children with back issues, right? So first, I had to get my body, literally people would say, wow, you have a body of a person 20 years older than you. And, it sucked. My wife's real athletic and, I was an athlete, growing up, and, here I am just complaining about, going on a little easy hike or just, just lingering behind. And, I've kind of felt a lot of embarrassment and shame around that. But, it takes a while to heal. But it's amazing to say that I am pain-free today. I never thought I'd say it. With all the injuries, I am pain-free. Not even any lingering little things, and that was because I dove into the Tai Chi and its sort of sister component, which is called Qigong. Tai Chi and Qigong are like brother and sister. It's like the yin and the yang. I like to describe it like Qigong is like white wine and Tai Chi is like red wine, because Tai Chi is the martial arts where every movement does have an application. A martial arts application. So that's a little bit more bolder and a little bit more complex, while Qigong is from the same Taoist family of movement and breath, but Qigong movements are not for martial arts. They are for targeting a certain area in your body that needs to be worked on. So it's the slow, deep stretching. That's the Qigong. And then Tai Chi is actually a martial art Qigong. So you are moving the energy in your body. You're having all those, the benefits of moving slowly with the breath, but knowing that each movement does have a martial arts application.
Gotcha. So Qigong is more like a yin yoga where it's deep holds and stretching?
Totally. That's a great way to describe it.
That's so cool. All right. So everybody knows Tai Chi had a lot of formative influences from Taoism, from Buddhist, from Confucianism. So it's all these Eastern principles. I love Eastern principles. Were you familiar with this? Were you dabbling in this world, or was it really just Tai Chi? Even when you got back into it and really jumped into becoming more of the guy you are today?
As far as the principles and the philosophies. Yeah. It's I tell you, I tried in my 20s, I tried reading those books and it was just like over my head, man, and now I've gone back and it's starting to make more sense now. But I also like to get the English sort of translations of the books instead of just going straight up for the philosophers the way they were talking back then. I like the books now that the main book is the Tao Te Ching.
Yes.
And I like the sort of people that interpret the Tao Te Ching. I like those type of books, sort of making it more sense,
Yeah, I've tried. I come from a family of intellectuals, Jamie, not like myself. So they're just like, yeah, here's Nietzsche. Just read it and just figure. I'm like, dude, I need like it takes time.
Right.
It's like another skill set. But I know where I always like enjoy reading the interpretations of all this work. Now, with the mind.
And can I just say real quick? Yeah, sure. I think that's why I know that's why I'm having success with people on my Instagram page, because I deliberately don't want to get heady with stuff and, get too heady and get too technical and, too spiritual. I want to make stuff digestible for people, just like I wished it was more digestible for me. So that's my whole thing. Yeah.
And everybody, please go check out Jamie's Instagram. It is awesome. And that's exactly what because like, honestly, when I'm looking for people, Jamie, I'm like looking for people who are like, they get it, but they're not like running the cult, right? You're just trying to give some good information. I think you don't have any, all your titles were like, just be limitless, calm your mind, all these things that could be practically applied. And I feel like some people on Instagram could take advantage of this world and like, use it for bad or almost being deceptive. You're like, here, this is what I'm doing. This is this is it. And this is how I kind of got there. It's very, very authentic, I would say.
Thank you. And I'm noticing that younger people are into it. It's cool because Tai Chi has that thing. Let's say, oh, it's just for old people. It's for older people because it's gentle, and a lot of old people aren't moving their bodies, and they need to find a way that isn't like squats and dumbbells. They need to find, but it's still quite the exercise. People actually come to Tai Chi and they're like, whoa, I'm sweating. I'm like, feeling in my legs. And like, yeah, it's a martial art you're doing. You're just, but it's really nice to see the young people are really into it. You just need it to be made more exciting, more practical.
Well, like you said, you need the cool dude like yourself, like doing it. Cause like even me, I see dudes doing Tai Chi every day. Jamie outside, because I'm in an Asian area. It's all 85-year-old Chinese dudes. It's like, these guys don't look like you doing. If you're doing, I'd be like, all right, this is cool. But like even with spirituality and like even my podcast, like I don't even understand why young guys listen, but they love it. What's up, guys? We love you. Thank you. Yes. Keep listening. Don't stop. But I think we need to have these conversations today just to give people another option instead of, well, what are you going to do today? I'm going to do social media. I'm going to try, living this unconscious lifestyle. I feel like everybody's, we are so impressed by whether it be social media, this person, that person, that it's like, it's hard to figure out what's the illusion or like, what is the actual reality? And that's what gets me nervous about today is that there's people living in actually separate realities. If you go political and it's like, all right, we're all pretty much 80% the same here. You may want, whatever, how you feel, but it's like, generally we should all want to feel at least the way that Tai Chi did for you, of having this kind of calm and stress-free mind. Now that's where I want to take this next piece of, how did it affect your mind in particular? And when did the meditation come into practice for you?
Yeah, just what you said about, I just want to go back.
Yeah, Jamie, keep going. Yeah.
You're just touching on these things. I'm like, yes, I want to encourage, especially young men, to, it's like, do the things that, if you're enjoying your social media, your whatever, your music, your video games, whatever, your workouts, whatever you like to do those things, but just try to find a balance. The balance is just, that other thing that, like you were saying, can make you calm, or that's good for your soul, right? Maybe you like to cook, and that's good for your soul, that somebody wouldn't, suspect that you enjoy, right? But whatever that other thing is that you enjoy, that is good for your soul, that just nourishes you and kind of brings you back to some sort of peace of mind, that's what balance is. You are always, I love this quote, there is no balance, there is only balancing. If you think of scales, as soon as you put that one thing on the scale, the other end goes up. And so you got to recognize, all right, I've been on social media, I've been on TikTok for 6 hours, all right, what can I do now to balance that out? Listen to a guided meditation or go for a run, right? Or whatever it is. And so then you're dipping down that scale on the other side, and you're just trying to find, it's a constant adjusting. So don't think like, all right, cool, now I've done the other thing and now I'm just good. Well, you're probably gonna, the other side's going to go up. So it's just, think of it like adjusting, and it's going up, it's going down. But as long as you're looking for that other side and recognizing, oh yeah, I'm a little out of balance right now, I'm a little too amped up or a little too anxious or whatever it is, then just make the adjustment and just boom, go do that thing, set that one thing down, go do that other thing. That's going to put you back into homeostasis, aka balance.
See? Jamie, well said, man. And that's like, I was never a balance guy. Even now, I still struggle with it, because it's always like, especially with this Western philosophy of like, what's a successful man? Like, you have to have all the money and all the power and all the girls and all. It's like, yo, chill, man, just chill. And even when I started this podcast, the whole thing of this is for people to have a union of your mind, body, and spirit. And I feel like you're always going to be there's no such thing. You can't have 33 1/3% spirituality, 33 1/3% across the board. Right. You're always going to have these kind of flows. Like, I'm in a spirituality flow where I could just talk to you guys all day. I could just do this all day with you. And I have so much energy. I think you have to like what you said, like, do something for your soul, because I feel like people, why do you do this? Or why do you do X? Why do you do comedy? Why do you do it? Because people think you need to get money from it, or you need to have a fame from it. No, you do it because you want to do it. It's like dancing. Like, I dance because I fucking love dancing. I meditate because I love meditating. There's no, you're doing it just to do it. Because for me, I was always had, and I might as well ask you that question too. What meaning of life means to you? Because I went through right after a divorce of like trying to figure this out. What's my purpose in life and what's my meaning? And you keep looking, and it's like, the more you try to look, the less you're just trying to grasp on something that doesn't quite exist. And I've realized now, like, the meaning of life is life itself. It's just the journey. It's just not the end point. Doesn't really fuck the end point. Fuck the views. Fuck this. It's about enjoying every moment. So that consciousness, that quality of your consciousness is so crucial to me, at least, being in that present moment.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Like that's why they, the old cheesy saying, that's why the present is a gift. It's like, imagine if, but imagine if, things went awry on the planet. Imagine if the weather started getting really bad and systems started shutting down. Like how we would look back at this time and just be like, wow, these were the good old times, like just being grateful for this right now, being content, being mindful in the moment. I mean, you're alive. You have the opportunity every day that you wake up to better yourself, just to go out and, breathe some fresh air or do something that you like. We are so blessed on so many levels. So I think you're right. Just being able to live this, being able to, this is the goal right here.
Yeah, like right now. And that's why I love doing these podcasts so much, because it's like we're sharing a moment. There's there's nothing else going on. It's just me and Jamie hanging out. And the fact people listen to this, it's like, oh, that's even better. That they help people. It's like, how do you not get excited about doing this? Now, Jamie, you seem super chill. You seem stress-free. Were you always this way? Is this how you naturally were?
Yes, but I also have the tendency, my thing is worry. So I'm a worrier, a recovering worrier. You can look at it like worry or anxiety or overthinking. They're all in the same vein. Like, oh, well, I know this is going good, but what if it stops? Or, I got to get more of it. Or you just worrying, overthinking. So that's something that I didn't even recognize that I was until much later.
Right? It's like, it's just how you are to start, right? You're just like, oh, I thought everybody does this. And that's, I would say, a New York thing is a little bit of worry, but it's also like, what is this guy up to? And like, I realized, shit, like that's not a good way to start. The first time you meet somebody, what's this guy up? What's the deal here? It's like, it makes you not get the rug pulled over your eyes, because New Yorkers are always looking, but it's like, that's maybe not the best way to start. And it sounds like what Tai Chi is doing is rewiring all of those things. So you're starting from more of a place. And this is why I think I love the Eastern arts, because personal development in the West is like, you have to keep adding and getting courageous and you hit your goals. But like, it's more, to me, unveiling the illusion of like the problems that are really not problems anyway.
Yeah. And the way that you can do that is by focusing on yourself. So you talked about meditation. Tai Chi is a moving meditation, right? Typically, there is, Qigong does have seated meditation where you are doing certain things and guiding your mind in certain directions. But Tai Chi, the thing that I like about it is that you are on your feet. You're not on your hands or knees. You're upright. Tai Chi Chuan stands for Grand Ultimate Boxing. This is a boxing. It's a form of soft boxing. Tai Chi was said to be inspired by somebody who watched a bird and a snake fight. And when the bird, the crane, the bird, when it went to attack the snake would retreat and then strike the bird with its tail, right? First, it would like get out of the way and then strike from the other side. And then when it attacked the tail, it would, move the tail and bite with the mouth. So it was like this sort of yielding to then go forward. So that's why it's like considered like a soft form of boxing, because you're kind of stepping back to use the other person's energy against them. So just another little thing about that. But yeah, it's a moving meditation. So one way that it really helps is you get to focus on yourself. You get to do the movement and just, how's my posture while I'm doing this? Are my shoulders tense? Okay, lower the shoulders. How's my lower back? Okay, keep that lower back flat, pelvis slightly tucked. You are focusing on so many things regarding your posture and your placement of your hands. And, I'm sure we'll talk about intention in a little bit, you're focused on so much about yourself that you don't have time to be thinking about how much money you're making or where you're going tonight, or is this going to come through? And you just begin to feel this wholeness, this oneness with yourself. And then sort of once you've kind of gone through your checklist of, okay, how's my back? How's my shoulders? what happens is an emptiness, a calmness, a stillness, nothingness, which people want to think that nothingness is like this aha moment of like, oh, I finally reached nothingness. But really, it's just nothing. There's nothing there. And that's the whole goal, is to not be thinking so much. You know, you've experienced this when you've gone to a beautiful lake and there's nobody around and it's just quiet. You know, it's still. It's quiet, it's still, and that's the goal. Not like a ride at Disneyland, like, oh, this is enlightenment. It's just, it can be just empty, quiet, still.
It's formless.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And
Cool.
out of that formlessness is limited potential, right? Because then you're there, and then everything can kind of, the universe just kind of comes to you. Things just happen, you know what, all right, you know what, I'm going to take this next step. You know, but getting to that state. And another thing you said about, I spent my whole 20s reading every self-help book, reading, okay, well, meditation, what's meditation? Oh, let me try Buddhist meditation. Let me try mindfulness. Let me try Om. Okay, let me try, I went to like all sorts of transformational workshops, you know, on how to, I mean, I was reading everything, Deepak Chopra, you name it. I was looking for self-help, trying to find myself. And now that I've quote unquote found myself, the funny thing about it is it's the same old stuff that was always there to begin with. You know, the same old thing that you're already into right now, that is just a natural thing, that's just a natural way, whether it's your sense of humor or, you know, the game that you're into or whatever it is, like that's you. That's the thing that you like. It's
Jamie,
just right there already.
That's it. Dude, I've been lucky enough to speak to 4 enlightened cats, and they all say the same thing. They're like, being enlightened is the same exact thing, except now you just know it was all a game. That's it. That's the best part of this. We're sitting there looking for something, and the whole time we have it. It's like, you got it already.
Yeah, and for the guys, I want to say, like, for me, I am a nice guy. I like, and I'm a sensitive guy. And those things were hard to be.
Right. Yeah.
Growing up in the 20s and the 30s, going out to the clubs and sensing everybody's energy, and everybody's like, go, go, go. And I'm kind of a little bit more reserved, and, you know, the confidence to go up and talk to girls. And I like to dance too, but I was extremely shy. But once you finally embrace those things, those qualities about you, and you sometimes you do have to practice working through them, you know, like my shyness, I really had to just sort of fight through it and take my steps and just get through it. But who you are is who you are, you know? So if you are a quiet person or a shy person or a nice person, you know, it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to be who, you know, everybody thinks is cool.
Dude.
You know, or whatever society thinks is cool. It's really, everybody has their own gifts, you know, and you should really just cultivate that gift, you know, and you will, the more you spend time doing you, you know, as they say, just do you. The more you spend time doing that thing, the universe, whatever you believe in, you will get rewarded, you know?
That's beautiful, Jamie. Yeah. And I love that you said just embracing those kind of the uncomfortableness, because you know, instead of avoiding it, which I feel like it's easy to do that today. Just numb your mind with the phone, or with the drug, or with a drink, or with a date, or with this or that. And just sitting with that, like, yeah, I'm a shy person. That's it. And just, it's that simple. And then walking through that and being able to sit with that, because you're kind of walking through a fear at that point. And that everything takes reps in life, and it's just by doing it more. And it's like, I don't know, you're talking about being shy and stuff. You look like goddamn Tony Stark. I don't know, but no, I get what you're saying, because even being the similar style guy who I would say is sensitive and thinks and very thoughtful, that doesn't mesh up with the Brooklyn Italian way. So even myself, I still, because you have to be on guard, because the people you are affect you so much. Like when I hang out with the old school Italian guys, it's like, oh, you start, hey, Galama, you start saying all this fucking Italian shit. It's like, you really have to just really be yourself, which it's the only thing you could do, because that gives you that congruency or homeostasis or balance or any of that.
Yes, absolutely.
How much did the breath work and that deep breathing help you through the process, and how much of that is involved in Tai Chi?
Yeah, with Tai Chi, we coordinate the moving with the breath. So we move as like, it's like a long inhale, long exhale. So, you know, the way that a runner might go with their running, you know, we're just like a long inhale as we come back, a long exhale as we push forward. And, you know, that's what we do. But I have a great tip for people that really, really is brilliant. And most people have heard of it. It's called deep breathing. It's called belly breathing, or it's called diaphragmatic breathing, you know, fancy words these days, you know, all sorts of trendy words right now going on for these ancient techniques, this ancient way of breathing. So if somebody listening here wants to calm down, even if it's when you lay your head on the pillow at night and you just can't stop replaying the day. I used to do that a lot, or thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow. You know, that overthinking that's going on in the mind. What you do is you take the mind and you put it in the belly. I like this visual of like unscrewing, like I'm putting my hand on my forehead and just like pulling it out. Pull your mind out of your mind and observe your belly, right? Underneath your belly button, about 2 inches, is your energy source, right? It is where all of your energy comes from. That's why it's called the core. I mean, if you think about it, what's calling the core now in the fitness world is really what the ancients were calling in Tai Chi, we call it the Dantian. It is where all of your chi, your life force, comes from. It's down there just beneath your belly button, but inside the body, in the middle of the body. And anyways, you just inhale, you exhale through your nose, like nice long deep breaths, but you observe the air going down there. You observe your belly rising and falling. When you inhale, the belly will go out. When you exhale, the belly will go in. This is just a natural way of breathing, relaxing the abdominal muscles. And so you will probably take 2 or 3 breaths with your mind in the belly, like, okay, cool, I feel the belly going in, and then the mind's gonna go wander. The mind's gonna go be like, okay, yeah, so back to what I was thinking. When you notice that, just bring it back to the belly. That's the key. Bring it back there, keep it there, and just observe the belly rising and falling. And things will slow down. The mind will clear, because you are at your what's called your second brain. Your first brain is up here. Your second brain, aka your guts, right? Your intuition, your energy source, your dantian, that's all down there. When you're down there, it's a nice, safe, home-like place. So just keep bringing your mind back to the belly, and boom, you'll fall asleep, or boom, your mind will clear, you know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And you'll just be like, oh, wow, I'm feeling nice and calm right now. And it's just all about taking your mind out of your mind, observing your belly, like the way the sun is looking down at the earth, or the way if you can imagine, the moon looks down at the earth. So just kind of close your eyes and look down at your belly and get in there, you know, get in that nice, comfortable place and stay there. Notice when your mind is leaving, bring it back, and you'll be able to bring it back easily. And a couple minutes in, you'll be good.
Dude, that's the golden tip right there. That's what I need for when I'm a little restless. And is this a big part of Tai Chi and Qigong? Do these movements open and unblock pathways with energy? Is that related, or am I just kind of making that up?
Yeah, they really do. Like certain emotions are trapped in certain organs, and Tai Chi and Qigong has you move. I mean, think about your body, right? We don't think about it. There is so much inside of there. You've got organs, you have got muscles, you got tendons, you have, you know, places where the blood goes through, you have connective tissue that connects all of that together. Your body is like a battery. And so, you know, it's like a electronic system, you know, in between the walls of the house, you know. And so when you stretch certain organs, for example, we never think about our spleen. Our spleen is on the left side of our ribs. That is the organ associated with anxiety, overthinking, and worry. It's in the middle of our body underneath your left rib. You have your stomach in the middle, and then your spleen to the left of that. Their spleen's right on top of the stomach. And on the right side of your ribs, you're talking middle of your torso, the right side of your ribs is your liver. And the liver is associated with stress, anger, frustration. So when we stress, we're actually taxing the liver. And when we think too much, we're actually taxing the spleen. So, just by leaning over, like bending over, you can squeeze, you can like bending over to your right side at an angle, you can feel that there is an organ underneath there. That is your liver. So by just bending over and with like a wave-like motion, you can squeeze, AKA massage your liver and let out some of that frustration. Same thing on your left side. If you just kind of bending over and squeezing, kind of just a little dip, you feel like, oh, there's things there. That's your spleen. It's your stomach. And when you squeeze or massage that, you are releasing worries. Same thing. If you were just lift your left hand, you're opening up that spleen and releasing those worries, anxiety that's trapped in there. Same thing. If you open up your right hand on the right side, you're opening up that liver area and releasing frustration. So all the movements, and Tai Chi has and Qigong has thousands of movements, but it's designed to, yes, open up that stagnant energy, because, the energy gets blocked and then we get an issue. Like right now, if your back is hurting or whatever, there's a block there, right? There's something that's being blocked. It's causing buildup, which then turns into pain and then signals to our body something's wrong, right? So we have to keep things open and keep things circulating. And the breath is a big part of it, because then moving is one thing, but then when you get the breath involved, everything moves better.
Very cool. What is Jamie? What does your morning look like as soon as you wake up, or do you wait till, like, what does your ritual look like? I am interested by that.
Yeah, see, when I was in my 30s, I would just sit there in the bed and open my eyes, be like, ugh. It would be like, ugh.
Yeah.
It would be just like depression, anxiety, and stiffness, on chronic pain on top of it because of all that I was dealing with. And so then it's just like, ugh, maybe you reach for your coffee or your breakfast, but you don't really lose those feelings till the afternoon typically. So I started to notice that the Tai Chi warm-up, which is just a way to use circular motion and breath work to warm up your body from head to toe through typical rotational type movements, but doing them slow, that really would just be like, all right, maybe a glass of water, maybe some juice, and then before breakfast, just go out to my little spot and head to toe do Tai Chi warm-up. That would put me into this space of, I'd be like, oh, I'm not really overwhelmed with the things I need to do now today, or I'm not really depressed. I'm just good. I can handle it. I'm ready, centered, I'm balanced. So yeah, my day starts out with the warm up, and that is the way to do it. It's gentle, especially for people that have chronic pain or have some emotional turbulence. It's just like you're connecting to your body, you're checking in, you're using relaxation, moving slowly, breath work, circular movement of Tai Chi to just circle different things. Circle the neck, circle the shoulders, circle the hips, circle the knees, circle the ankles, head to toe, circle the wrists. And by the end of that, you're like, boom, a lot of the chronic pain is gone. A lot of all of those thoughts are gone because you're opening those pathways. And so, yeah, I offer this Tai Chi warm-up for $1 on my Instagram and people are just eating it up because they're getting an introduction to Tai Chi, but it's just the best way to start the day.
I was giving Jamie a layup there. I was going to say, hey, Jamie, how would people want to, if people want to do the warm-up, how do we get there? Everybody, yeah, check that out. I signed up today. I'll let you guys know how it goes, and maybe you'll come back on, Jamie. We'll do like an intermediate level Tai Chi. Yeah, that's cool stuff, man. Now, I'm always interested by this piece, the auditory sounds. Have you got into any of ancient sounds releasing negative energy, anything of this world, or am I just sounding like a crazy person?
Yeah, something that something that we all do is we take a big breath and then we go We do these things, but these are actually part of ancient qigong routines, qigong meditations, where you use breath to vibrate specific organs that hold specific emotions. So when you are worrying, and I do this all the time whenever it's getting a little too much with my wife or with whatever, I just make the who sound. You know, you could spell it out in English like WHOOO, because but it's a breath sound, and it's just like, right? It's just a typical sigh, but just like let it out and let it out loud, you know, just like, you know, all right, somebody just said something that to you that, you know, is made you feel some type of way. It's just like, let it out. That is for anxiety. You know, if you're stressed, there is a sound called the shu sound. It's spelled XU in Chinese, but it really sounds like shh, like shushing, right? When you want to shush your stress, if you will, if you're stressed out or if you're angry, if you're filled with anger, you can go shh. You know, long, deep shh sound. And that's going to release all that frustration that is pent up in the liver. And if you have lung issues, one more that I'll give you, if you're having breathing difficulty, you make the sound of air leaving a balloon. And it sounds like, that's going to target the lungs. Typically, our lungs hold depression and sadness. So long inhale in, and then you make that sound. Obviously, I'd recommend doing this when you're by yourself, or people might think you're a little, you know, funny. But yeah, these 6 healing sounds are amazing, and we often already make them.
Isn't that so interesting, dude? These are things that we have all the answers. They're the same thing with the
Yes.
Enlightenment. Like, we already kind of know these things.
Yeah. And you know, I was looking at the name of this podcast, Causing the Effect. Such a great name, and it speaks to the major fundamental Tai Chi principle known as intention. And everybody's probably heard of this word, intention.
That's exactly it. You just freaking nailed it, Jamie. You nailed it. That makes me so happy.
I was thinking about coming on here today, and I was looking at that. I was like, well, that means you're intending, which is another word for just saying you're focused.
Yeah.
And the thing about this, just getting back to the more martial aspects, when I'm standing in front of a grown man, you know, I'm 5'11", but I often am wrestling around, practicing Tai Chi, push hands with guys over 6 feet. If my intention isn't squarely on what I'm doing and looking at their, you know, sort of intending to find their core, their center, you know, and really focused, then I'm going out. They're throwing me out. But I have to, when my intention is really lined up, really feeling into their body, you know, trying to find their center of balance, and I am extremely focused, then my chances go up by a lot. If I'm thinking about what I'm gonna have for lunch, you know, chances go down. So your intention, you can't force everything to happen. Life doesn't work like that. You know, you're not going to get everything that you want in life just because you want it. But like that Rolling Stones song, can't always get what you want, but you might get what you need, right? That's cool. But having that intention for what you want is much better than just going around and just letting life blow you this way or blow you that way, right? Have your intention, have your mind focused on many things, right? If you want to find a relationship, or if you want a better relationship with your girlfriend or whatever it is, like, have that be an intention of yours. Like, just say it, like, you know, have it there. Just say it to yourself, like, you know what? I want this aspect of our relationship to be better. Me personally, inside of relationships, I had an intention, because I'm also Sicilian, and I had an intention not to yell at my wife, because yelling runs in my family. And I discovered in my 20s that I was a yeller, right? You know, and after, because my wife has experienced a lot of trauma growing up, the last thing I want to do if we are disagreeing is yell at her. So it's been an intention of mine inside of my relationship to not yell, even when we disagree. And that intention is something I can always come back to when I'm about ready to lose it. Just be like, no, remember, you have this intention, so let's try.
Absolutely, dude. And intention's really everything. And I've tackled this subject from the spiritual side, the psychological side, the scientific side. And so for me, it gives me peace knowing I'm not just, we're not just making this stuff up. People, you should know this if you're listening. Intention is the key. And it's called the reticular activating system, Jamie. In the mind, it's like if you want a white Tesla, all of a sudden the white Teslas will pop up, right? It's all these little things. All of a sudden, it's coincidence. No, it's where energy goes, focus goes. So just some people are naturally. I would say I was more of a naturally pessimistic person. So when you make that shift and start like truly, like I always start before the podcast to I set an intent, like me and Jamie are gonna have a great conversation today, and you'd be surprised, like just how great that works. Like I would suggest anybody listening, just like set every time you're really doing something, you want to take it seriously, set an intent. But how is your focus? Because I can imagine, like that's basically, it really is meditation, because that's the point of meditation for me from a material worldview. It's like I want to be able to be more focused in life, because that's what we're focusing on, is the consciousness, of the quality of our consciousness. How did Jamie look from a focused, attentive standpoint in his 20s to today?
Ooh, good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I've always been motivated and, stuff like that. I think now I'm getting actually a little bit better at just going with the flow when things don't go the way that I focused and hoped that they would go. Because again, things don't go, it's just life, But when I'm able to change my focus a lot better when something isn't working, instead of just saying, no, it's gotta be this way. If something's showing you that it's not working out, and keep giving it a try, keep doing it. But if it's just not working out, you got to realize that that's not the way, and just pivot. And it can be such a little change. It's funny, getting back to when I'm standing toe to toe with Tai Chi players, and we're doing push hands where we're wrestling around trying to get the other person off balance. If I push them and they're rooted, and I run into that wall, well, if I keep pushing against that wall, they're going to take all that energy I'm pushing on them, and they're gonna just get me off balance, because that wall is not going anywhere. If I make just a little pivot, just like a couple degrees to the left, and I come at them from a different angle, boom, everything shifts with just that little shift. And I'm not talking about like retreating either. Just because I run in the wall, Tai Chi, we don't retreat. We don't like, oh, I guess I'll just move back now and let them get me. No, it's just a turn. It's just a little pivot. You keep going after your goals, but recognize when it's not working, and for whatever reason, it's not, and just a little tweak.
Dude, that's such a beautiful metaphor, man. Just like, because when you turn the boat 3 or 4 degrees, you end up in a totally different spot. And I think the true strength of a person is found not when things are going good, right? Because I could be happy when things are going good. I would say even me, when shit hits the fan, I get a little frantic, and it's like, that's something I've worked on. That is like when things are not going your way, and you're able to sit there and still be positive and still look, let's say, evil or melancholy or that darkness in the eye, and say, no, I'm gonna persevere through this. That's true strength.
Yeah, that's the whole yin yang symbol. It's like, listen, the yin yang symbol, everybody has seen it, right? There's a light side and a dark side, or the yin side and the yang side. And it's to remind us that when things are good and you're on top of the world, well, that's when the other side is going to be starting, and then the other side is going to go back down. And when things are down, things will go up. It's just the way of the world. And So when things are going down, it's not trying to tell you be happy, just be with it. Just recognize it like, okay, I'm not gonna be happy, but I'm also not gonna go down in the depths of, of hell or depression. I'm just going to just writing and I'm being with it. Okay. Yes, I'm acknowledging that things aren't going good. All right. I'm hanging in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, the way I love it when it's described like two fishes chasing each other, and sometimes the white fish will bite the black fish, or the black fish will bite the white fish. It's all about the balance. That was my last question, Jamie. Was what does balance mean to you?
Yeah, it's about, let's see, balance to me. Yeah, it's constantly changing. It's always changing. Even when things are good, there's going to be a little something in it probably that you don't like. That's that little dot in the yin yang, It's just like things are always changing. And so I like the word content, trying to be content instead of just like ecstatic or really low. I just like to kind of, even when things are on the way up, people are like, wow, you doing really good. I'm like, cool, thanks, very grateful, right? And to me, that's balance rather than just being like, yeah, I'm doing this. I mean, of course, there's times where you let it out, but yeah, just trying to find, just trying to be aware that things do change. Things are always changing.
Yeah, that's impermanence, man. That's Buddhism. It's so funny you're saying this. I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow. This too shall pass. So I think it just kind of goes in very nicely, because that's the whole point, right? Remember that as good as things are, they can always go bad, and as bad as they are, they could always become just as good. So
yes, and everybody out there, if things are taking a downturn, one of the ways to do that, to remain hopeful, is by finding something to be grateful for. Just that gratitude switch, when things are bad, if you can look at like, well, okay, things are here, but at least I have this, right? My mother is amazing, or whatever it is. Just once you can, gratitude is a very powerful emotion, even when things are looking down, right? There's something you can be grateful for, thankful for, and it'll just switch you out of being down in the dumps.
perspective, man. That's one of the most powerful tools.
Yes.
Dude, Jamie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all these little tidbits of knowledge, man. This was wonderful, man. Seriously.
Thank you for having me. It's nice.
Brother.
It's I love your energy.
Dude, it's like, I've loved Jamie. I want to be you one day. I'm gonna I feel the chillness. It's like there's just and everything you're talking about. It's just Tai Chi sounds. You may give me on a Tai Chi kick here, but it just sounds like it's a hybrid of meditation and yoga and the mind. It's wonderful. And everybody, please check out the warm up. I'll be starting next week. You can find Jamie's all his information below. Any questions, reach out to Jamie. If you want to get connection, I'll introduce you guys, whatever works. That's it, dude. Thank you so much again, bro.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me again. It was really nice to meet you and be able to talk to your audience.
Oh, dude, thank you, Jamie. That's it, people. Thank you, guys. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep doing all that good stuff. Most importantly, tell one of your friends. As always, stay safe, stay positive, stay blessed. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.